In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know about Newcastle United's takeover. My opinion, who are the new owners, future plans of the club, and some transfer and manager suggestions from me. I'm delighted for Newcastle United and its fans. It's a beautiful club with a beautiful history and in my opinion, one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world. I really like Newcastle United as a club. I've got a shirt of them as well. I would have put it on for this video, but unfortunately I don't fit in it anymore, or fortunately for me, I'm happy I don't fit it in anymore. But yeah, the best thing about this takeover is that Mike Ashley has left the club. Like, honestly, that's the best thing that could happen. I know there's a lot of controversy about the new owners, whether they're good people, and I mean, I'm not gonna give my opinion on that. I don't think it's my place to do so. But the main thing is Mike Ashley is out of this club. And the worst thing for this football club was Mike Ashley. So I get the excitement. I'm excited myself for Newcastle. I think it's beautiful for the fans. And Newcastle United as well is now one of the richest football clubs in the world. But who are these new owners? Well, let me tell you, 80% of Newcastle United is now in hands of PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund. It's the wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, and it's estimated that their value is 315 billion pounds. It's a company that basically gets their funds from the oil Saudi Arabia sells. The other 20% of the company is in hands of PCP Capital Partners and RB Sports and Media. PCP Capital Partners is a company run by Amanda Staveley, who has been at the forefront of this takeover pretty much. And RB Sports and Media is a family-owned private equity and property company. It's owned by the Reuben brothers, and Jamie Reuben will also be the director of Newcastle United. In an interview with Sky Sports, Amanda Staveley said that they want to invest in every level of the club, meaning the youth academy, the stadium, the first team, any backroom stuff, pretty much like anything you can imagine. She said that they will take some time to review the club to see where they need to strengthen and where they can develop. For me, watching this interview, it seemed very positive. I think they've come in with a clear plan. I mean, Amanda Staveley made a first bid in 2017, which got denied by Mike Ashley. So I think they've been pretty much wanting to buy this club for like 5 years already. So they definitely have their plans on what to do with this club and where to take them, how to invest, where to invest their money, what to do marketing wise. I think they've got it all figured out. But now what everybody loves to speculate about is the new transfers, and especially this January transfer window for Newcastle United. So the main questions are, who is Newcastle United going to sign in January, and are they going to sack Steve Bruce as well? I mean, let's start off with that question first. Are they going to replace Steve Bruce? Honestly speaking, they probably will, to be fair. I'm not sure if they're going to do it right away. There are some people shouting he will not be sitting on the bench for the Tottenham game. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if that will be the best decision at this moment in time. But let's have a look though at managers who are available and who are without a job at the moment. I mean, probably the biggest manager without a job is Antonio Conte. I think he will be a perfect fit for Newcastle United. You know, he always looks for a club that has ambition. The way he likes to set up his team is also very suited to the Premier League. And I think he would be the dream coach. The only thing is though, Conte has said repeatedly that he doesn't want to step into any club in the middle of the season. So he's only going to start somewhere in summer. And I don't think he will make an exception for Newcastle United in this case. So that means for the remainder of this season, they either need to stick with Steve Bruce or they need to find another replacement if they don't want to stick with Steve Bruce. Another big manager that is available is Zinedine Zidane. He is without a club, but he has expressed interest in coaching the national team of France. So will he want to be a club coach again? I'm not so sure. It seems as though he would rather want to take it a bit easy for his next club, but who knows? If a big paycheck and a big contract is coming up, who knows? Maybe he will say yes. Besides those two names as well, there is still quite a big of a list of managers who are available, and I'll name some of them right now. We've got Frank Lampard, we've got Ernesto Valverde, Lucien Favre, Andre Villas-Boas, Gennaro Gattuso, Paulo Fonseca. You also still have Eddie Howe, who is still available after he left his Bournemouth job. And maybe one of my personal favorites, Chris Wilder. I've always been a big fan of him. he's also still without a job. Now on to new transfers, and this is where it can get a bit tricky. There is a danger now that there is so much money that they're just gonna completely overhaul the squad, and I can't think of a single example where that has worked out well. So if I was in charge, I would maybe only bring like 3 or 4 players in the January transfer window. The thing is though, Newcastle United is in a relegation battle, so you do want some short-term fixes to make sure you don't relegate. I mean, at the moment, I think they need some improvement in almost every area of the pitch. However, it's also about bringing in the right players. Because what is dangerous right now is that they have so much money that players only want to come in for the money and they don't give a shit about playing football or about the club. You need some players who have a vision to take this club up the ranks and to have success here at Newcastle United. And what I straight away did is I was looking at what did Manchester City do in the first season of their takeover. And they splashed a lot of guys, but the main players they brought in were Robinho and Joe. And they both failed. And these 2 players were the most expensive players they brought in. 2 players who were still quite young, and they bought relatively cheap. I mean, it's a different time as well. But they brought in Company for 6 million. And they brought in Zabaleta for 7 million. And they both became legends of the club and were huge parts of the success Manchester City has had. They definitely weren't proven players in their prime yet. And sometimes that, at this moment in time, is the best choice. Because you also need to build for long term and not just for short term here. And sometimes the players who do seem like the big transfer players are not going to be the ones who are going to help you move forward. However, since Newcastle United is in a relegation battle, you do need to bring in some players who have experience at this level. But also some young talents who can help you develop the club over the years. Players who are perhaps eager to just play in the Premier League and they don't care at the moment in time about Champions League football, because that's also another factor that's coming in. Like players in their prime, I don't know if there will be many if they have ambition, if they have the right mindset, so to say, who would want to go to Newcastle United right now. Because if you are a player in your prime and you can be playing Champions League football, I don't think you choose to go to Newcastle for the football. You basically will choose to go to Newcastle for the money. So you don't want to get those players in. This Newcastle takeover is not going to bring success straight away. It's a project and it can take a couple of years for them to get to where they want to be. The first player who has been heavily linked now with Newcastle United is Felipe Coutinho from Barcelona. And now this player is an example of a player who would be good to bring in. You know, he's not playing much at FC Barcelona right now. As well, what is ideal in this case is that Barcelona needs to sell players. They really need to sell players. You know, and us Premier League fans, we know how good Coutinho can be. He's a very talented, creative player, and he would definitely be an insane transfer for Newcastle United. If I'm also looking at other players who are playing at the top club but have fallen down the ranks and are not playing regularly or will not be playing regularly, I'm straight away thinking about Keylor Navas at Paris Saint-Germain. Now, I don't think the goalkeeper position is something Newcastle United needs to address. But if Keylor Navas is available, and I mean, it's inevitable that Donnarumma is gonna be the number 1. And if Navas is then available, and if he wants to go to Newcastle United, I mean, sign him up. He's one of the best goalies in the world. Like last season, he had one of the best statistics. Oh, that's a difficult word. Statistics in the world. People have also been shouting for a new striker, and 2 players who are coming up in my mind as my transfer suggestions to look into would be Darwin Núñez from Benfica and Dusan Vlahovic from Fiorentina. They both just look like those typical Newcastle United players who are a bit gritty, sometimes a bit dirty, but they work extremely hard. I think that is what I would associate a Newcastle United player with. And I think that that's what they should, because it's their identity, I feel. Both of them are still very young, but they have a lot of potential. You know, they may not be there straight away, but they can definitely grow up to be your Aguero. For a new defender, I would maybe be looking at Sven Botman from Lille, who is a fantastic young talent, or someone who is very experienced but kind of stuck in his career, Kalidou Koulibaly. He has been linked with a lot of big clubs over the years, but a transfer never happened. Like, he's still at Napoli. Maybe now, considering his age, there are not many clubs who are that interested anymore. So perhaps Newcastle United is a good chance for him now to prove himself in the Premier League, to play in the Premier League if he wants to play in the Premier League, and to be in a project which is going to develop, and he would be an ideal player for them. In the midfield areas, I will be looking at Dena Zakaria, who wants to leave Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm also looking at Weston McKennie, who is available for around 25 million from Juventus, and perhaps an English player who is not regularly playing at Liverpool, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We all know he has a lot of potential, he's a great quality player, but it's just not gonna happen at Liverpool anymore, I think. And maybe if he wants to play on regularly, Newcastle could be a great fit for him. So those are some of my players who I would suggest and who I think could potentially be realistic transfers. Let me know in the comments down below who you think Newcastle United should bring in this January or this upcoming summer. Also let me know what you think of this takeover and whether you think Newcastle United will now be winning trophies in the next couple of years. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
I live in the moment, praying for the future. I gotta